Howdy, folks. Justin here. Today we're did not mean to bring this screen up. Today we are going to hop onto the ladder, onto the arena. I'm sorry, and see how far we can get. We got 2,000 gold burning a hole in our pocket. It's been a while since we did a versus arena run, so we're going to do that. Now we have a quest right now for monk, so that's pretty tempting. Spell sword. Not a huge fan of spell sword in the arena. Crusader. You can get some pretty interesting aggressive Crusader decks, but we're going to go with Monk. I've seen a lot of Monk on the ladder lately, which has been a pleasant surprise. Always a pleasure to see something besides the usual suspects, so that's been entertaining. And with the quest we have, we'll make our money back even if we do pretty terribly, which is, of course, incentive to go ahead and select it. Assuming we win 3 games, I guess, which is, not guaranteed. So let's go through our picks here. Septum Guardsman seems like garbage. Imperial Siege Engine seems pretty terrible. Feasting Vulture, I like Feasting Vulture. Potentially a really powerful 3-drop. Now, which direction are we going? Imperial Legionnaire is hard to argue with. Those are just some great stats for that cost. Healing Potion, I would argue, is probably unplayable in Arena. And Varanus Courier, if it was a little later and we knew what direction our deck was going, Varanus Courier is a pretty good pick. I feel like Legionnaire, though, is the choice here. Gosh, well, we're not taking Dwarven Spider. I do love these guys in Skyrim, though. Who doesn't like filled soul gems? Let's see here. Thieves Guild Recruit, Varanus Courier. I feel like we got 2 3-drops already. I know this is only 2 out of 30 cards, but it's hard to argue with Thieves Guild Recruit. I think like it's a pretty good card. We have a removal spell, a pretty awful removal spell, but a removal spell nonetheless in Malefic Wreath. We have Snaketooth Necklace, which isn't terrible in Arena, and Aldmeri Patriot, which is not particularly good. Hmm. You know what? I kind of like the necklace, but the removal spell I just think is probably the more intelligent choice. We're taking the Highland Lurcher here. Portcullis, I'm not going to take Portcullis. Arrow to the Knee is not bad. It's not good, though, so we're going to take Nimble Ally. We do have a lot of 3-drops. We have a lot of green cards, too. Reaper, great card in Arena. Okay, it's between Aerostorm and Viper. Viper's not an unreasonable removal spell in Arena. Aerostorm, though, are we a deck that needs Aerostorm? I think it's got to be Viper. Ravenous Hungerer, not really what we're doing. Snowy Sabercat's pretty good. Wild Beast Collar, though, is so much value. I think we're going to take the Beast Collar. Crocodile, this is only really interesting when you're playing creatures that trigger when you deal damage to them, which we are not. Murkwater Butcher, spectacular the first turn, but it runs the risk of just being another 3-drop in our hand, so we're going to take the Tiger. Kvatch Soldier, solid 2-drop. Thievery, not what we want to be doing. This isn't actually a bad card. It's a lot of stats for a 2-drop, but Soldier's just doing work there. We'll take another Reaper. And we'll definitely take the Daring Cutpurse there. We will take the Viper. I think a solid 4-4 for 4 is where we're at right now with that. We're probably never triggering Resolute Ally. Greenheart Knight, we don't really have any payoff for that, so we're going to take the Witchman. Highwayman, great arena card, even though we have a lot of 3-drops already. Another 3-drop, so were we just playing mono 3-drops? We'll take another Tiger. 2-drops where we want to be. Amazing 2-drop. We have no 0-cost cards. We're not the aggressive deck looking to exploit Snow Wolf, so we'll take the Profiteer. Hive Defender, definitely. We want some 5-drops, and speaking of 5-drops, there we go. We got Piercing Javelin. Do we want to Shackle or do we want to Guard with Prophecy? I feel like we want to Guard with Prophecy. Legion Prefect. We're pretty top heavy already. I think we'll go with the 4-drop. Golden Saint is really hard to pass up. On the other hand, though, we don't have any 5-drops except for Piercing Javelin. I think we gotta go with Saint. Shadow Shift, love that card. Dune Smuggler, love this card. Although Hive Defender, I think we gotta go with Hive Defender. Looks like we're playing a little slower. So this is a tough one because Leaf Lurkers unbelievably good. But Pillaging Tribune is a pretty solid card for Comeback Mechanic. Smuggler's Hall I don't think is good. I'm going to take the Leaf Lurker, but it is not enthusiastic. So let's hop on and see what we can do. Our curve is a little awkward. You know, you can see most of it appear. I know my picture's blocking some of it out. But we'll see what we can do. We're playing against Daneda, the Great Mane. Is this a Scout Mirror? It is not. They are playing Spell Sword. Do we have the Elixir? We do not. Okay, well, we're going to keep one 4-drop, and we're going to keep our 2-drop. Maybe we can do something fancy with throwing our Thieves Guild Recruit at something, and then triggering Feasting Vulture. That would be the ideal sequence of events. Well, it's not going bad so far. We hit a Reaper? We do not. We hit a Legionnaire. Great turn 3 play, though. If we don't have a way to do something fancy there. Okay. What are you going to do? Faroon Defender. Well, you can have that lane. I'm going to throw down my super boring vanilla 3-4 over here. This guy looks like he's super boring and vanilla. Probably a Broncos fan. That's kind of sad, right? So do we wreath that? Trade in? Yeah, I think we do. I'm not excited by this, but let's see here. We want him to throw something down we can trade with evenly and trigger our Vulture. Then we swing for 5 the following turn and trigger our Golden Saints. That is not the card we were hoping for. Wow. What? Why is this happening to me? I'm a good person. So we're only playing one card here no matter what we do. The question is, which of these cards is it? And how do we how do we get our Golden Saint value? If we throw this down over here, we're just giving this guy up. It's not awful. We don't... Okay, so we throw him down over here. We swing into that next turn, and then we drop the Vulture and the Black Sap Protector. Seems reasonable. I think we let him decide what to do with that. I don't know how we would get too badly punished. You know, it's not like he's running Leaf Lurker. And Crushing Blow, I think, wouldn't be the worst thing that could happen to us, so... Okay. Oh, come on. What 6-drop do you have? Night Predator? What? Okay. Well, it takes all kinds, right? Breakthrough and Regenerate. That's so sad. This would actually be a really good play if I wasn't so keen on triggering my Feasting Vulture. Yeah, for right now we're giving this lane up. Yep, beating mono guards is not something I anticipated. Maybe we top deck our Viper. This is why we have it, right? Burma Profiteer, that gets us closer to Golden Saint value. Top deck Leaf Lurker, also spectacular. I know it may seem reckless to just leave this thing alive, but we're 25, having some runes broken, not terrible, right? So, okay, well now we have to Reaper that lane down so that doesn't get completely out of control. But I think that's okay, right? I think that is okay. Cool, more value. So our plan to deal with this is watch and wait. Watch and wait. Okay. And there's an answer to that, so we'll worry about that in a little bit. Not in any huge rush. We'll just deal with this like this. Next turn we can trigger our Golden Saint if we want to, but I think more likely we're just going to Piercing Javelin that thing. Yep. Oh, wait. There's our friend the Viper. So, oh, how dare you. How dare you. Okay, so here's our plan then. It involves Paladin and Viper this turn, okay, and Javelin, Profiteer, Cutpurse next turn. Yep. This guy can be silenced, so that's the one to throw away there. And we're just gonna bleed our opponent out of cards. He's about to top deck Maroc, of course. But our plan next turn is some combination of Piercing Javelin and swinging with this thing. If there's a more enticing target than this on the board, obviously we hit that, but give us a little life. Yeah, no problem. Not a problem at all. Yep, I hear and obey as well. Frenzied Witchman. Okay. Cool. Well, I feel pretty good about this. There are no charge creatures in these colors. There's a Lurking Mummy. Actually pretty good considering the toughness of all of my cards over here. So we're just gonna keep slow rolling. We'll gain some life, create a gigantic tiger, and when he throws guys down in the other lane, we will slap down another tiger. Okay. That's a pretty good top deck. I mean, drawing one card a turn, that's one you'd want to draw. Right. We're just going to take it nice and slow. See no reason to rush any of this or do anything. Except, that. Alright. Your move, my grindy, ridiculous deck, is doing God's work here. If he, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be religiously insensitive. What I meant was Sheogorath's work, because Sheogorath is the only god we all know. Okay. I mean, the answer is obvious here, right? We swing that, and obviously now we have to start swinging at his face. La da da da. Um. Hmm. Go, go, Golden Saint. Well, we will, I just clicked out of the game by accident. We're going to swing first, and then we're going to Golden Saint City. Okay. So now we lose to Odaving. I mean, not even then. We still have our Mega Beefcakes Tiger over here. This is what my cat aspires to be. That was a really quick and deliberate attack. Like it feels like he has a play, which is really frightening. Oh, what's about to happen to us? So this is kind of why you just draft the highest value cards, right? Like, there's not like a whole lot of synergy in my deck. It's just the most solid creatures I could find. Okay, so he's banking on Prophecy. Alrighty. We will draw first. Swing for 6, break 2 runes, and that's game. Okay. Bring it home, ladies. I'm sorry if you can hear the phone ringing in the background. It's sitting right here next to me, so I'm going to hand that off. And we're going to hop on for one more game. Alrighty. See how this works out. So far, so good. We've taken the ridiculous pile of value cards pretty far. Charles Reaper did some serious work there. I love Reaper. One of my absolute favorite cards. It was real heartbreaking to have to remove that from the Scout deck recently. But the Scout deck was, it was not able to compete with Control Mage as a control deck. Control Mage is able to beat other control decks pretty handily. And so we needed to step up the aggression in order to remain relevant. So, okay, we're against Ander Exilion. Or maybe he used to be a lion. It's not clear. We'll be using you later, my friends, I hope. Now in Arena, I mean, that kind of makes this an easier play, but there's always the question, like, do I use the Magical Elixir for tempo in the early game to get 2 drops out? In this case, I am. But I totally understand why you wouldn't always. Here we have a similar question. How interested are we in getting a no-value Feasting Vulture? I actually think we're pretty interested in that. This suggests either, it was the best pick out of a bunch of bad picks, or our opponent's trying to go long, so we're going to try to play the aggressor. Could be wrong, but seems like a reasonable move. And my opponent has nothing here, so it looks like we might be rewarded for that. We're going to get punished with a prophecy. We are not. Yep. Just going to contest that, try to lock things down. We got some good plays in the next few turns. Wasn't really interested in using my last charge of the Magic Elixir in case I need a Piercing Javelin, some dastardly villain this turn. Right. Okay. So, that's an awesome draw. We're going to do like this and like this. My opponent's just getting no traction. Throw this over here. And, Divine Fervor aside, should be pretty well set up for next turn, where we have the option of Lurcher or Javelin. Aerostorm. Fair enough. Takes all kinds. Okay. So we can go recruit into Paladin. Let's see what happens here. I'm a huge fan of drawing cards. It puts almost the same amount of power on the board. I mean, 7 versus 5, I'll just split over 2 bodies. Let's play the recruit first. Put it in the other lane. Make our opponent work for it. And we're going to go ahead and elixir out this because we're not going to play 2 things next turn no matter what. No matter whether we have the elixir or not, right? I'd love to see him put a tiger over here. I javelin it. I basically time walk my opponent while swinging for 8 potentially. Okay. Alright. Do we swing for that extra 1? That seems unnecessarily greedy. So now, we did see the Aerostorm, so maybe he has Dawn's Wrath. But he can't play it till next turn, fortunately for us. So, if he's been holding on to the 4/4 that becomes a 6/6 with guard. Nope, Dragentail Savior. Do you have a removal spell for my 7/5? Wabbajack. Oh god. I don't even know what to say. I mean, it seems like I should say something though. Alright. So we have 7 on board. We have 2 charge in hand. Two in the bush. But I think a tiger in play is worth more than two in the bush. Yeah, we're just gonna go for it. Wabbajack my tiger away, my friend. Wabbajack away. I feel like there's another way to phrase that that would not be so family friendly, but it's just not coming to me right now. If he removes everything but this, we still. Oh, I wanted to kill him with the two vipers. Okay, well, there you go. And now we are at 2 games, 1. It looks like it's a 5-win quest too. I get greedy. I just take whichever quest gives more gold, and then I end up having to play like decks full nothing but breakthrough creatures and casual. And then, so if I concede against you turn 4 after dropping a bunch of garbage creatures, it's probably because I'm completing one of those quests. Also, I like to take my crappy goblin decks into casual. I have one for every color that combines with green. So let's play one more. See what happens today. See if we can't make it a hat trick of wins, or maybe our monk goes the same way that famous monkey Harambe went. Um, Looks good. 2-drop, 3-drop. Probably the 3-drop I'll be playing. Probably not that 3-drop. This is, of course, Firebolt colors and Ward colors and the 1-1 for 2 with Ward and Guard. So there's a lot of ways that this doesn't work, but if it does work, hallelujah. We're off to a fantastic start. One of the best starts we can get with our list. So far, Feasting Vulture, been okay. I feel like there's a room for this in Constructed in the right sort of like tempo. I mean, the meta would have to be right for it too. Like you'd have to have opposing creatures you'd want to be removing on turns 2 and 3. But Feasting Vulture is potentially very high value 3-drop. Unfortunately, green is. Oh, they didn't use the alternate art. I just realized why this guy looks strange to me. Um, Green is ripe with rife. I'm sorry, with fantastic 3-drops. So, and there's the Firebolt. Okay. Well, do we? Yep. We're just gonna throw out the Black Sap Protector, force him to react to it. Maybe he puts something out that we can make Feasting Vulture work with. Uh-oh. Well, that is why we have the Territorial Viper, I suppose. Not a thrilling use of that card, but seems like a 1-for-1 is a better bet long term for us there than losing our guy, losing the lane, and praying for a Leaf Lurker drop. Also, I think that was a better play than slamming my guy into the face and throwing a Feasting Vulture out, which could have potentially lined up well for me trade-wise, but seems like it probably would not have. So, okay. Well, I think Hive Defender is looking pretty solid over there. Alternatively, we leave that alone, right? Like, how do we really get punished by not contesting that right now? Actually, you know what? I like that. I like throwing Hive Defender over here. 6 toughness is pretty difficult for a deck banking on its blue removal to take care of, so. And I don't mind drawing some cards. I also want to avoid putting him in a situation where he's in the driver's seat and lays down the creature he wants the Haunting Spirit trigger to hit. So, if this ends. Uh-oh. Soul Split. Well, that's pretty good. That is pretty goddamn good. Well, what is our best move here? I think face is the place, first of all. Then it's really tempting to use this in case something goes disastrously wrong. Having a lethal creature there seems pretty solid. But that was a great play by our opponent. They just really turned things around for themselves there. So in Fantasyland, what we want to have happen is my opponent swings with the shade into me first. I trigger Piercing Javelin, and I destroy this. You know, Sheogorath be praised. Holy crap! We said a prayer to Sheogorath, and the Wabbajack came out last game. Maybe I was like totally wrong about religion. Uh, Good top decks would be things like Leaf Lurker. Leaf Lurker seems like it would be great. Preserve of the Root. Hmm. Well, well. This is a tough spot we're in. Our hand's kind of clunky. We need to remove this, right? What happens if we don't? I mean, if we don't, we go face and trigger Lightning Bolt. Like, it's game over, man. So, man, if we had one more Magicka, dropping both of these after I trigger this would feel pretty good. Doesn't seem like we're probably going to win this game, though, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Enchanted Plate. Okay. That's 2 decks in a row now that I'm running Enchanted Plate. Yep. Alright, Daddy needs a new Piercing Javelin. Shadow Shift, Rothgar, Assassin. I think we're just dead, right? I mean, I think we're just dead. Da 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 da. Well, not a great strategy, but ooh, okay. You know what? All in. This is not a way to win. I don't think we had a way to win with that hand, but I feel like this is gonna keep us from dying the quickest. What's our follow-up? We have no spells left. Shadow Shift would have been great if we had a Paladin or two on the board. Some kind of Piercing Javelin trigger seems like it's in order for us to not die. As for winning, I don't think that's in the books in the cards. Sorry, but we'll see what happens. Just happy to get some Golden Saint value, I suppose. We will take what we can get. So, Gloomwraith, I love that card. So, right, you have a dagger in your hand still, right? So you put the dagger on here, and you slam in here, and then you throw those guys into there, and you kill that, right? Yeah. Crushing Blow? No, you wouldn't have attacked like that if it was Crushing Blow. Okay. Well, we have ways to not lose. That's a start. That's a great start. Unfortunately, my tiger will get killed without taking anybody with it over there. But you know what it will do? Is do 4 damage to both of them and let me clean it up with Reaper. We're still alive. Not for long, but we're still technically alive. Maybe he puts a bunch of 1 toughness creatures over here too. Or maybe his hand is just a bunch of 12 drops. That might give us time to come back. Ooh, that's painful. Okay. So we're dead. We needed him not to hit us for 6 in order for our backup plan with the Char's Reaper to work over here. We have no 2 drops that will take care of this situation. Oh, yeah. That makes sense, right? Okay. You should attack the other way, homie. Get yourself some breakthrough damage. Yeah, we're hella dead. Good game, I suppose. Anyway, thanks for watching. That's 3 games with our latest arena deck. I hope you enjoyed it. We will play through the rest of the run in the next couple days. Have a good one.